Lord Aaron will never be a great warrior.
Great warrior? He swings a sword like a girl with palsy.
It looks like dawn.
It doesn't.
It does.
You want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy.
We're going to have a baby.
You know what it's like to stuff your shit through one of those air holes?
No, I only know what it's like to pick up your shit and throw it overboard.
You vouch for this man, Tormund.
He's prettier than both my daughters.
You want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy.
Ale?
I am Obara San, daughter of Oberyn Martell. I fight for Dorne. Who do you fight for?
I've been here for weeks. I'm not scrubbing one more corpse until you tell me why I'm doing it.
I fear I never again see Miss Sunday from the island of Nath.
Oh my.
He's going up to Hardhome to save all them wildlings. Wildlings killed my mum and dad.
Is there any way I can help?
Yes, there is.
You want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy.
Game of Thrones is back. 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 Game of Thrones. It's gonna be so awesome, bro. Wait a minute. Who the fuck are you? I'm Chad from House Summerchild from The Reach. And Game of Thrones is my favorite show. It is sick. I've never heard of House Summerchild. House Summerchild of Summerfell. We're on the Mander. I feel I'm going to tire of you quickly. So we open where our last episode left off. Jon Snow is dead in the snow. Jon Snow, my boy, he's totally gonna come back and save the world. Now, I've never been part of a mutiny or coup, but is this standard procedure? You just leave the body there? Yup, just murdered a man. Time to brush my teeth and head to bed. I hope Tony on Morning Watch isn't upset that I totally just left him a dead body to clean up. Anyway, then Ghost, who likely has Jon's soul inside him, starts howling, which coincidentally brings Davos out. It's a good thing the howling didn't bring Tony out, cause Tony would have been totally pissed that someone left him a body to clean up. And then by coincidence, all the men that are loyal to Jon come out. So they bring the body inside, and Davos asks Ed, how many men do you trust? And Ed says, the men in the room, which makes me wonder, why the hell are they hanging around? Now would be the best time to run away. But they've got to protect Jon. He's their Keanu Reeves. But they don't know that. And even if they did, why don't they just travel with the dead body? Anyway, Melisandre then arrives because she apparently heard the wolf and saw the blood stains and figured everything out. Anyway, in the morning, Alliser Thorne tells everyone that Jon is dead. Many people are upset, but he justifies his actions to everyone by saying that Jon was a threat to the Watch. You know, because he let the wildlings through the wall. Of course, this doesn't really make sense. This is really spilled milk. The wildlings are already through the wall. He should have killed Jon before the wildlings went through. You'd think at least one person in that crowd would yell, Alliser, you don't make any sense. But instead everyone's like, grumble, grumble, back to work. So then Ed is like, I want to suicidally take on 200 men, and it's awesome. So Davos, for some reason, wants to participate in the fight. I guess because he has nothing better to do with his life anymore. So he essentially recommends to go find the wildlings. And so Ed is like, good idea, and goes off to find them. But of course, if he can just sneak off campus, why can't everybody? And so Ramsey is totally sad that his girlfriend is dead. And she looks pretty fucking good considering that she fell 4 stories. I mean, I might still hit that. Dude, that's gross. We don't even do that and ours are animated. So anyway, Ramsey happens to be talking to a maester. So maybe, just maybe, there might be a pink letter coming in the future? Probably not. Now Ramsey says he's going to feed Miranda's body to his dogs. This is kind of a book reference. In the book, Ramsey hunts women for sport and feeds their bodies to his dogs. It's reminiscent of the werewood net, but instead of being absorbed into a network of trees, you're being absorbed into a network of dogs. So maybe, just maybe, Ramsey wants Miranda to live on in his dogs? And then Roose is like, yeah, Stannis is dead, but who gave the last blow? So do they actually have Stannis' body? I'm still holding out hope that Stannis the Manus is alive. Stannis is like a Schrodinger's Benjen. He's neither dead nor alive until observed. But then Ramsay's rape comes back to haunt him. He consummated his marriage to Sansa, so he can't remarry or produce a true-born heir unless he finds her. But Roose weirdly thinks that the most important thing is uniting the North against the Lannisters. I don't know, I don't think it's too much to worry about actually. The Lannisters are kinda spent and you only need a handful of people at Moat Cailin to hold the North. But whatever. Speaking of Sansa, her and Theon are on the run and come to a river. They probably should have taken off their clothes first to avoid hypothermia. Those wet clothes when they get out are gonna be brutal. Dude, they totally didn't have time. Plus, if you're Theon and you got no dick, you're not taking off your pants. Well, despite getting really fucking wet, they're then bone dry in the next scene. Maybe it's like 5 hours later, bro. I hate you, Chad. Anyway, 6 Bolton soldiers and 2 hounds end up finding them, and the hounds do not appear to be friendly. But out of nowhere comes Brienne, and she fucking starts killing people. Murder! All aboard the murder train. She kills 1, 2, 3 men, and then Pod kills a guy, and then Theon kills the 5th one. That's all of them. Wait, weren't there 6 of them? 4 horsemen and 2 footmen. We saw 4 horsemen and 1 footman die. Nope, that's all of them. And what about the hounds? Those 2 dogs were about to tear off Sansa's face. I don't know what you're talking about. There were 5 men and no dogs. But the entire scene is about them being tracked by hounds. Hounds just don't vanish. They were killed off camera. By who? Brienne and Pod were busy, and Theon doesn't pick up the sword until the end of the fight. Sansa killed them. You're trying to tell me that Sansa snapped the necks of a man and 2 hounds. They ran away. What are you talking about? Those hounds were about to rip off Sansa's face, and the only thing keeping them back was the Bolton soldier. Why stick around for Sansa when they have a tasty Miranda meal back at Winterfell? I hate you, Chad. And it all ends with Brienne swearing fealty to Sansa, and she accepts. It's so much wish fulfillment that it's like an episode of Entourage, my previous favorite show. Meanwhile at King's Landing, Jaime is coming home with Myrcella's body. I really wish they had a scene between Jaime and Trystane. I think a lot of people suspected that Trystane was complicit in Myrcella's murder. A scene showing his genuine grief that absolved him would have been nice. Anyway, Cersei is very much upset. And she then reveals to Jaime the Maggie the Frog prophecy. And she says she believes the prophecy because Maggie said she would have 3 children. Of course, in the show, Cersei actually has 4 children, but whatever. Oh my god, the Maggie the Frog prophecy. So who do you think the Valonqar is? No one's the Valonqar. All prophecy is bullshit. Then how'd she know that Cersei would have 3 kids? Let's say Cersei did have 3 kids. She chose to have 3 kids. If you tell me that I'm gonna buy Cheerios from the grocery store, and then I buy Cheerios from the grocery store, it's my own damn fault. But Jon Snow's the prince that was promised, right? No, this isn't Harry Potter. Jaime telling Cersei to fuck prophecy is actually a pretty good scene. So Cersei's gonna have sex with Jon Snow? I fucking hate you, Chad. And then we have a scene with Marjorie and the High Sparrow. I actually fell asleep during this scene. I don't know anything that happened during it. But meanwhile, down in Loras's birthmark, Dorne and Ilaria are talking about Oberyn. Apparently here in the show, Oberyn traveled extensively, but Dorne didn't. So I wonder where Areo Hotah came from. Maybe Oberyn picked him up. Anyway, a letter arrives alerting him to Myrcella's death. But then, oh no, Hotah is stabbed. Wow, and I thought Barristan's death was pathetic. Don't get me wrong, Areo Hotah is the most boring point of view character from the book. He is, after all, the Watcher, or as some people call him, the camera that rides. Still, many of us had hope that one day he would achieve sentience and free will. But alas, Show Hotah has died before he could reach the potential of his programming. I have written a farewell ode to Areo Hotah. 011 000 10 01 111 001 011 001. And so then in our next scene, I can't believe they killed off Sadiq el-Tahir el-Fadil el-Sadiq Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdel Karim el-Mahdi. Dude, his name is Dr. Bashir. It's never not going to be Dr. Bashir. I just know him from that movie Vertical Limit. Shut up, Chad. I just couldn't believe they killed him off so quickly. I mean, you could probably fit all of his lines on 6 fortune cookies and still have room left over for lucky numbers. May you find Jadzia in the afterlife, my friend. Anyway, Ilaria and the Sand Snake's logic is pretty twisted here. They want vengeance for House Martell, so they kill off House Martell. So Ilaria says that weak men will never rule Dorne again. It's kind of implicit that she and the Sand Snakes will be ruling. But it's kind of hard to believe that the other houses, Ironwood, Fowler, Manwoody, Santigar, Dalt, that they would ever accept bastard rulers. I don't know, bro. For all we know, this is just House Martell, ruling Dorne, from the city of Dorne. So next, anchored in the harbor of King's Landing, Trystane is chilling on his ship, painting an eye for Myrcella's funeral. I'm actually not sure why they're not putting him up in the Red Keep. But Trystane has some visitors. It's the Sand Snakes. Somehow they have teleported from Dorne. I don't know, brah. They could have hopped on a faster ship and gotten to King's Landing at the same time, then rowed out to him and killed his guards, and they just happened to luck out on the fact that he wasn't staying at the Red Keep. Anyway, the Sand Snakes asked Trystane to choose his opponent, and he chooses Nym. But Trystane is ambushed, which at first seems like part of the plan, but Nym seems legitimately angry that Obara stole this kill from her. So apparently Nym was really planning on fighting a man with a sword in close quarters with a whip. I would have really liked to see her try to pull that off. Now many of you may be asking, Sweet Robin, does all of this change your opinion about the Dornish master plan? The answer is no. The book is the book and the show is the show. Especially when it comes to Dorne. So next we get this weird scene where Tyrion and Varys decide to walk the streets of Meereen. Tyrion, a man who actually once almost died in a city riot, assures Varys they'll be fine. Why? Because they're dressed like merchants. In what universe would this be possible? Everyone in the city must know their head of state is a dwarf. And the book even had a specific plot where dwarves all over the kingdom were getting killed because everyone thought they were Tyrion. Now last season we pointed out that the graffiti should probably not be in the common tongue. But who knows, maybe the graffiti artist was a freed slave and was a captured Westerosi. But a mixed language message? I'm not sure the logic in that. Oh, by the way, not to be pedantic, but Varys and Tyrion both say that Misa is Valyrian for mother. It's not. In both book and show, Munya is mother in Valerian. Misa is Giscari for mother. In the very next scene, the Red Priest uses the correct Valyrian word for mother. Hey Brandon, I have some French for you. Chenga tu madre. Anyway, Varys and Tyrion take turns with exposition before getting interrupted by the Burning Fleet. Oh, had you forgotten that they had a fleet? Because I had totally forgotten. Meanwhile, in the Dothraki Sea, the Super Dario brothers are totally bonding, even though everything out of Dario's mouth is pretty dickish. And we find out Jorah is super subtle. Oh, let me check the time. We also find out Jorah is a master detective. Not a goat, a ram. Not an army, a horde. And Dario's pretty clever himself. He figures the horde is Dothraki. Because, here in the Dothraki Sea, there might be a Summer Islander horde. Now, with the charred bones and the Dothraki footprints, I'd be pretty stumped on what happened to Daenerys. But luckily, Jorah Mormont cracks the case. So off in the Dothraki Sea, we find that Daenerys has been captured and is now a slave. What's interesting is the Dothraki have no idea who Dany is. No one heard about Khal Drogo's wedding, and there's been zero crossover between this Dothraki horde and Khal Drogo's Dothraki horde. Even stranger, Dany hasn't been raped 100 times. Keep in mind, Khal Drogo's Khalasar would do this to the women they found. The explanation that they give seems to be that Khal Moro gets first dibs, not that they know one way or the other. Oh well, plot chastity belt. So Dany meets Khal Moro, and we actually get a little bit of comedy here. Seeing a beautiful woman naked for the first time, what's better than that? Killing another Khal? Yes, killing another Khal. Conquering a city? Yes, conquering a city, etc. I laughed at this, and then it occurred to me, isn't this the "what have the Romans ever done for us" bit from Life of Brian? Oh well, maybe it's homage. Anyway, Daenerys reveals who she is, and Moro gets in a pretty good burn. You're nobody, millionth of your name. Queen of nothing. Anyway, Dany reveals that she used to be married to Khal Drogo, and it saves her from rape again. Apparently there's a Khal bro code. You don't go picking through your other Khal's trash. At least with regard to widows. But Dany's gotta live out her life as a crone in Vaes Doth Rock. So next we find Arya and Braavos begging in the streets as Blind Beth. And then the waif shows up and beats the hell out of Arya. Now I understand that Braavosi's street duels are pretty common, but honestly, she is beating the shit out of a blind person in public. Is this just passé in Braavos? Have you guys seen everything? I mean, there's a couple ladies in the back looking over, but man, everyone's just dead inside. Meanwhile, back at the wall, Sir Alistair is telling Davos to come out of his room, but Davos is saying, "No, I'm never gonna come out." The gang thinks their only hope is either Ed or Melisandre. Speaking of Melisandre, bro, where has she been? I mean, this episode is called The Red Woman. I figured there'd be some titties in this episode. And oh yeah, she's taking it off. And she's even taken off her necklace, which she's never done before. Except when she did it in this scene in season 4. Oh well, maybe she has it wrapped around her ankle or something. And damn, what happened? Actually, Melisandre looks pretty good considering. The actress told someone that she was 400 years old. Anyway, this scene actually opens up some possibilities with Jon Snow. They might be able to put the glamour necklace on someone else and have that person pose as Jon. Anyway, thanks for spending time with us. We'll see you guys in episode 2.